Yahweh Shemel Shai. Yahweh Shemel Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
With this crown, I declare you our sovereign. All hail the king! I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Receive this crown as a blessing from the Most High. May your reign be just and prosperous. So I asked the angel, and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. With this crown, I bestow upon you the legacy of our people. Rule wisely. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. With this crown, I charge you to lead our people with wisdom and strength. All hail the new king. Hail! Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy God. See. I now crown you king. All hail the new king. Long live the king!
Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shemel Shai. Yahweh Shemel Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, respond to this video, this Jake, who's into the stock market. He made a statement, and it's a statement of someone who doesn't see, beyond, this American empire, this beast system. Okay. And this is one of the perks, one of the privileges, okay, of being in this truth. It gives us a vision, beyond, all right, this current system. Okay, this current beast system, all right, the world of Esau. Okay. And as we, for the longest, especially, coming up as Christians, we thought, that the end of the world, was the actual end of the planet Earth. We thought, heaven, was, the kingdom of heaven, okay, was referring to, all right, the spiritual realm. We thought the earth, had an end, the earth itself, when we would talk about the end of the world, and the way Christianity talked about it, it was so miserable, okay, that no one, was looking forward to the Christians' end of the world, okay, from Christianity, from plantation Christianity, Okay. But when you really get into the scriptures, okay, and really understand the truth, all right, the true narrative, all right, what the Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, okay, is really doing in the earth, okay, then, now we look forward to the kingdom. You see, as we understand what a kingdom is, understanding that, we have an inheritance, understanding, all right, Yahweh Shai, all right, and what he's getting ready to do, what he's getting ready to establish. We go into our history, and, we go into our golden age, during the time of King David and King Solomon, and it creates a true excitement, for what the world, all right, for what Yahweh Shai is getting ready to bring to the world. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go here, and then we'll get that. Okay. Because when you go to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, okay, we get a couple precepts, and then we get that video. But this 2 Timothy chapter 2, all right. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept my faith. Okay. Because the fight is to keep the faith, in the midst of everything we're getting ready to go through. It's even a fight, to keep the faith, because we have to believe in the world beyond this world, while this world is still going, while this world is still up and functioning. Okay. This age, all right, the age of Esau Edom, okay, within his rulership, we have to believe in a world after this, an age after this, okay, before it's established. You see, so it's a fight to keep that faith, man, especially, as things get more intense. Okay, we get put, we're going to be put in certain predicaments, okay, to where it's going to be a fight. We're going to have to wrestle, you see, to keep the faith, all right, like our forefather Jacob. 2 Timothy 4:8 said, henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. So you have a remnant that's looking forward to the appearing of Yahweh Shai, because we know what it means. You see, in Christianity, we didn't have a clue, okay, of what a kingdom is, what the kingdom is. Okay. We had no clue. We had no clue of what we had to look forward to. You see, and there's, we grow in understanding in the truth. Things become more vivid, of what we got to look forward to. Okay, then we begin to despise this world. Okay, more and more this age. Okay, as we understand, the wickedness of this, man. This age becomes disgusting to us. Okay, but there's a lot of our people, they never start their process of believing, in the kingdom to come. Okay, and they never start the process, of becoming disgusted with this current kingdom, this current age. Okay, so let's go here, and this is why, as things are getting ready to collapse. Okay, and to a lot of our people, they don't even see this place collapsing. They hear about this, they hear about that, but in their mind, like it's like America always prevails, always find some way to shake back. And that's some people belief. Okay, because one thing about it, you believe in something. You see, and the thing that's gonna have people, okay, in scripture say is confusion going to increase as well. Okay, one of the things that's going to have people extremely confused is when this place really begins to collapse. Okay, to a point, all right, that people never thought they would see. Because in their mind, especially, like I say, this Jake is in the stock market, so he's looking at Esau throwing all this money in the stock market. So he's just thinking that he's riding a wave of a new trend in his mind. He's into the AI, the automation, particular things. We use this video, because he made a few points, talking about particular things that they had going on with AI, which is an indicator that Esau is trying to establish this new world order. Okay. But we understand what this means. Going back to, let's read this, Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Okay, so wisdom and knowledge of what? Wisdom and knowledge of prophecy. Okay, this is what's going to stabilize us in these times we're coming into. Okay, because if this place falls, man, there's a lot of people that's going to come undone. Okay, so a lot of people that's going to come undone when this place reaches a stage that they never thought they would see. Okay, especially if their mind is geared, especially if they got a lot going on in this place, and their mind is geared like, you think you're riding a trend, you're trying to invest like Esau invested, you're riding the AI wave, which, scripture say you use this world, don't abuse it. Okay, so if you can, make some plays through the stock and that's your thing, whatever. Okay, use the world, don't abuse it. All right, you can make your quick turnaround, however that work out. Okay, but looking at this place for longevity, thinking that you riding a wave and you're sowing your seed in this society to get rich, with this new trend. You miss Bitcoin and you missed, certain other investments, and you like, I ain't gonna miss this one. Okay, if that's where your mind is at, you're finna be extremely disappointed. Okay, and you can tell, all right, that this Jake, all right, that's his perspective. You can tell that this is where he's coming from. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's get the video, then we'll get back into some precepts. Okay, so let's go here. Because the thing is, he's responding to Trump, promises to, he's speculating on abolishing income tax, because so much terror revenue is coming in. Ultimately, it's all BS. Whether he abolished the income tax or not, so what? Okay, what does that mean? You see, and see, this is, these Jakes like this, they just look at, the money aspect. Okay, they not into Esau and his wickedness. They not into Esau being anti-Messiah. They not looking at, AI, as being witchcraft. They're not looking at that. They're not looking at, this so-called white man that's rebelling against the Most High. Okay, they're just, caught up in two, because now, and that's how the economy is getting ready to fail. I got some on there too. The fact that these Jakes is, that Jake know about the stocks, they let you know that Esau finna do away with this whole money system. The fact that Jake even know about stocks and particular things and investments and this, it lets you know Esau finna do away with. Okay, the fact that he's letting Jake really participate. Okay, but let's play this.
Over the next couple of years, I think we'll substantially be cutting, and maybe cutting out, but we'll be cutting income tax. Could be almost completely cutting it, because the money we're taking in is going to be so large.
That's it. That boy thinking about cutting income tax. That boy playing a different ball game. Say, bro, I'm telling y'all, bro, like this dude. So I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, and they was asking, no, for Thanksgiving, and we was talking about the credibility of America. Is he taking away the credibility of America? And I would say there's some people that say yes, there's some people that say no. I don't care. Like, where the hell we gonna go at anyway? If like I be seeing people say like America gonna crash, I'm like, I bet, but where you gonna live at? You ready to go move? You know what I'm saying? Man, I hope America, all right, but where you gonna, like, it's okay if somebody in Dubai say that because they don't live here. Right? It's okay if somebody in Portugal say that, they don't live here. It's okay if somebody in Italy say that, they don't live here. You're American, you live here. You ready to go? Are you ready to go? All right, so what I will.
You see that? And he's speaking as if, there's no other option but America being up and running. Okay? And if America is the end all be all. Okay? Because like I say, this guy, he's all into, the Wall Street and the stocks. Okay? So he loves this way of life. Okay, and it sounded like, you know, he got a little money. You know, he was speaking on how, you know, he had bought a Bitcoin and a half, you know, spent, you know, $30,000-$40,000 in the stock. Okay, so he, you know, must have a life. Okay, and then his gamble is America is going to keep going. That's his gamble. All right, that's why he's so invested. So in his mind, like, he's hearing, you know, the speculation of America's fall, you know, America's collapse. Probably heard the prophets. Okay, and in his mind, because he can't see beyond this current system, he can't even see beyond America. Okay, let alone, you know, this global Edomite empire that runs the earth. Okay, but in his mind, like, where y'all gonna go with? Where y'all gonna go with? Right? Y'all saying America gonna fall, but where y'all gonna go? Well, first of all, we're going up, and then we're going home. You see, we have an expectation beyond, all right, America, and we got an expectation beyond this current global system. Okay. You see, we know, and going back into scriptures, we know where all this is headed. Okay, so let's get some more, play a little more. All right, and then we'll get some more precepts, and you can tell he trusts in this place, man. You know,
I say it's just, you got to make the best of what he got going on while he here, while he in office. You got to just make the best. It's okay if somebody in Italy say that. They don't live here. You're American. You live here. You ready to go? Are you ready to go? All right, so what I will say is just, you got to make the best of what he got going on while he here, while he in office. You got to just make the best, navigate different, navigate slow, change the way some of you doing certain things. But the idea of tariff revenue replacing income tax,
I'm just saying. You playing chess where everybody playing
I'm
Connect
just saying, who gonna be mad if they look at their check and they ain't got no income?
Right. They're like,
That
no,
income-
Trump,
He ain't that bad.
he ain't with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like his hair, but
Man, but watch
Maybe I
this.
was
Trump
wrong.
reveals a massive, and I wrote this down. This was sick when I saw this. Right, Trump reveals a massive, that he's bought massive bonds. Which industries are getting the cash? So I wrote this down.
so he's keeping up, you know, what Trump is investing in. Okay, which ultimately is just nothing but new world. These are new world order companies. Okay, these are companies of technocracy. Okay, at the end of the day, all right. And like I say, you know, if you're savvy in that, you know, you can make a play cool. You see, but you can tell he's leaning on this. Okay, so you know he's going to be with, you know, this technology they got coming, because he spoke about the C-HIP once before. Okay, he's going to be with it. Okay, if they snatch everything he has, all right, and able to get access back to what he's gained, well, he's going to be willing to take that C-HIP. Okay, now let's go from there. Let's get some precepts. You know, but when I heard that, you know, how Jake just made the statement, like, you know, there's no other alternative outside of American continuing on. Okay, matter of fact, even when you go, let's go here. You see, let's go Isaiah 51:14. You know, because one of the things about, you know, the truth going into, you know, the bitter sweet, you know, as we learn about who we are, okay, learn about what we got coming, you know, that's the honey, you know, with the scriptures. The bitterness is, you know, understanding, all right, that we're captives, okay, understanding the hell that we're in and still have to be here, you know, and deal with day to day. Okay, so you go to Isaiah 51:14, it said the captive exile hastening that he may be loose, man. You see, we Haitian to be loose from this. This ain't living. You see, money won't suffice. Knowing what we know, money don't suffice. Okay, women, clout, these things wouldn't suffice. Knowing what we know, we've been exposed to too much in the truth, man. For just what they say, you can't unsee it. Okay, so the elect is they're built a certain way. The hopeful elect is built a certain way to where we can't unsee. All right, what we know, we can't unknow what we've been opened up to. Okay, so it's bigger than money. Okay, it's bigger than our own personal situation. That's the thing too. The truth makes us nation minded. Okay, and you know what this system does to our people. You know what it does to people in general. Okay, but what it does to our people, man, man, this shit gotta stop. Damn, how much money I can make in the stock market or whatever is way bigger than that now. See, as we speak about being kings and lords, well, guess what? We waking up to responsibility. You see? So now we want a whole new righteous system. And this one promise to come through Yahushua. See, we've learned of Yahushua. This is far better, okay, than anything of this world. That's why you go here. It said the captive exile hasten that he may be loose, man. We can't wait to be loose, man. Hey, we even understand that these bodies itself are chains, man. They're holding us back, man. That's why it's gonna take new bodies to enjoy the blessing that the Lord's going to give his people, man. We couldn't even enjoy the blessing fully in this body, man. And we know this is a captivity as well, these bodies, man. But it's a promise that there's a change that's going to come. All right, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread, all right, shall fail, man. The pit is this system, man. We're ready for this whole system, okay, to be changed, man. Okay, not better, economic opportunities. Okay, because we know what it all leads to. Like I said, a guy like that. Let's go here to Isaiah 36. Okay, Isaiah 36. Okay, in 6 it says, "Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt." Okay, because we go into how this place is rigged, man. Jake get a few, few bands, okay, whatever. Even if let's say he's a millionaire, okay. Jake get a little money, okay, and Jake began to trust in this system, like the system is like, because Jake think, well, I can manipulate the system in my favor. Okay, so they began to trust in this system, okay, and that's why it's dangerous to come into a lot of money in this society, man, because it'll create a trust in this society. You have an attachment to this system, man. Okay, it says, "Whereupon if a man lean or depend," okay, because we understand that this system is broken, it's been broken, it's rigged. Okay, and see, he'll come up, but then Esau crashed the stock market. Well, which we know is all gonna crash. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna get there when I finish this precept. It said, "Whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him," man. So if you lean on this system, eventually, you're gonna have to get their hand pierced, man, which is their seal. Okay, in order to participate in this society, you're gonna need that seal. Okay, ain't no getting around it. Okay, so he's saying you just gotta do the best you gotta do while he's here. It is what it is. What we gonna go? We live here. We gotta do what we can. Okay, and that's someone that's prepped to take this seal. Because they trust on this broken system. All right, now we'll get some more precepts, but I want to get this. I heard this on one video. I forgot who said it. All right. So it's a saying. It says, if the shoe shine boys know about it, all right, what does that mean? So it's a saying that the shoe boy, if the shoe shine boy knows about it. Okay, and who's the shoe shine boy? Jake. All right, it represents Jake. Okay, because this comes from a phrase in 1929. It says the phrase, if the shoe shine boy knows about, all right, refers to a famous, likely apocryphal story about investor Joseph Kennedy in 1929, who allegedly sold all his stock just before the market crash when his shoe shine boy gave him a stock tip. Okay, so you have this story, whether it's true or not, but this saying, all right, if the shoe shine boy knows about it, okay, but you have this saying amongst you devils, you see, that if the shoe shine boy knows about it, it's over. Okay, that means it's over. All right, so he said he got a stock tip, okay, from the shoe shine boy. It says the core meaning of the shoe shine boy story is that when speculation and hype reach such a fever pitch that even people from all walks of life, including those without financial expertise or significant capital, are actively trading stocks and giving out tips, the market is likely at its peak and the imminent crash is due. Okay, so the fact that Jake is into stocks, you hear a lot of Jake that's into stocks now, and Jake is making moves in the stock market, and Jake is day trading and all these different things. Well, the fact that it's them trickled down, okay, to the tail of society lets you know that this devil finna crash this whole thing, man. Okay, and switch over to something else. Okay, because it says that it's the market is likely at its peak and an imminent crash. Okay, or correction is due, and the correction gonna come from Yahweh Shai. This place gonna crash, and the correction gonna come from Yahweh Shai. Going back to seeing beyond this, man. See, this is the privilege and the perks of having Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's why when you go here, it's been coming out a lot lately. Let's get this St. John 8:12. I say we going out. All right, we going up, then we going home. Okay, we'll get prophecies on that. But this is St. John chapter 8. Okay, and in verse 12. All right, St. John 8:12, it says, then spake Yahushua again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followed me shall not walk in darkness. You see, and there's a Jake that's walking in darkness, and he just represents one of many. Okay, I say these little savvy Jakes is able to make moves, and they didn't put a few plays together in the system, and it's like, oh man, now they Wall Street gurus, and they want this place forever now. Okay, America is cute to them right now. You see, but when you're walking in the light, okay, you see these things for what it is. Okay, you understand that this devil, right? These certain, stocks are going up because this devil is investing in his new world order. Okay, which is going to be the end of this whole system. It's going to be the end of him. You see, it says, he that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life, man. Because we understand, all right, because it said the light of life. Because we don't begin to live, until after this destruction, man, until we change. You see, we have the wisdom and understanding to know that this ain't even living. As long as Esau, Edom is in power, all right, this ain't for us, man. This world, this age ain't for us, man. We're not of this world. We're not of this age, man. We long for something else. You see, as Yahweh Shai has been resurrected in us, we long for something else, man. This ain't it. Nothing, I say nothing suffice, nothing pacifies, our yearning for a righteous kingdom in this world, man. Okay. This is Matthew 5:5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And that's literal, man. Yahweh Shai is coming back to give us the earth, man. to conquer the earth from righteousness, all right, and set his people up, man. Okay, not here happy about the crumbs of this man's kingdom, man. While this man destroys the earth, destroys our people, all right, blaspheme Yahweh Bashim Shai, you know, because you get a few crumbs from this man's economy, then okay, everything cool. Nah, man. Nah, righteous judgment need to come to the earth, man. Okay, it said, blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled, man. And as I say, as we increase in the understanding, all right, we increase what we have a appetite, a hunger for righteousness, man. Okay, and this more wicked. Okay, this world can't satisfy our hunger and our appetite and righteousness, man. Yahweh Shai is going to do that. Okay, let's go here. So we want judgment, man. Because part of righteousness is righteous judgment. You see, America being destroyed is a part of righteousness, man. Okay, let's get this in the book of Isaiah 26 and 20 says, "Come, my people." All right, which are the Israelites, and this is speaking to the elect. This is speaking of their deliverance, salvation, showing you that salvation only for Israel, man. It says, "Come, my people." Okay, these heathens ain't the Lord's people, man. Okay, it says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed," man. Until the Lord's anger be overpassed. You see? So we're finna witness the Lord's indignation, which is his righteous anger in the earth. Okay, but we're going to be in these chariots, man. That's why I say, "Come, my people, enter down to thy chambers," man. These chariots, man. You see? So to answer the question, where we're going to be at, we're going to be in them chariots, man, while the Lord judging this place, man. Okay? "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her sin." So Yahweh Shai is coming to punish this place, man. This place is going to be punished. Okay? America going to be destroyed in an hour. Okay? And we got somewhere to go. Okay? See, we good on America, man. You see? So now, man, that type of mindset, okay, they're going to be in the midst of the judgment of America, man. Okay, but hey, we going up. All right, let's get this in Revelation 11. Okay, as the scriptures speak about. Okay, and I'll start here at 11. Revelation 11 and 11 says, "After 3 days and a half, which is 350 years, the spirit of life from the Most High, all right, entered into them." All right, so there's a remnant that will be, that will receive that spirit of life. They will dash their Holy Spirit. You see, which is a spirit of understanding, a spirit of judgment. See, we understand righteous judgment. Okay, you see, we begin to become new creatures to where we look at everything. Say what Scripture say, all things are become new. So we look at everything completely different, from the perspective of Yahweh Bashim Shai. As we, grow in understanding, we mature in this thing. Well, we begin to think like Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay, we think way beyond money. Okay, especially the so-called money of this system. Okay, and it says, "And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them." And see, we know that these devils are rushing to establish this new world order because there's a remnant that has awakened. This devil knows that the names of Yahweh and the names of Yahweh Shai being called upon by their true people. You see, these elites know what it means. Us on our feet. Okay, and this is the biggest threat to their kingdom. Okay, it says, "And they heard a great, it says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, okay, and this the point, so I did 350 years going from 1619, when the Southern Kingdom, was brought over here, in the book, that began, the time period where the Southern Kingdom began to be brought over here in bulk, okay, to the Americas to serve captivity, with the Northern Kingdom. Okay, so from that time, 1619 to 1970, 1969, okay, when our business began to what? Speak Yahweh, which is what? The spirit of life. You see? And then the remnant started being awakened. Okay, and it will lead to the point that we're at now. Okay, that's why you had these camps, okay, all throughout America. You had the camps throughout the earth. Okay, but the main place of prophecy is here in America. That's why you have the most prophets here. But you have beloved brothers, beloved brothers of GMS, outside of America that's teaching this word. Okay, and they elect everywhere. You see, but that great deliverance gonna be here in America, man. Okay, this is where that second Exodus is gonna take place. All right, and that great destruction gonna be here as well. Okay, so this is the point. It says, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. Okay, come up hither. Okay, it says, and they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, in the chariot, the chariot of Yahweh, and their enemies beheld them. So we're going up. That's where we're going to go. You see, the only way out is up, as brothers say. So we're going up in those chariots, man, while missiles are coming down. You see, that's the play for us. You see, this is bigger than being savvy in the stock market. No, we're savvy in faith. We're savvy within prophecy, man. Yeah, the stock market, okay, it's cool, but hey, in this time when this judgment is happening, the stock market, okay, ain't gonna be no benefit. Knowing about the stock market when the Lord opens up in judgment, well, it's not going to be a benefit, man. Okay, because you go here to Revelation 14, because going back to those that lean on Egypt, it shall pierce their hand, which is, okay, that sea hip. Because if you trust in this society, if this is your end all be all, you got to take the sea hip. Okay, Revelation 14:9, it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, all right, and that Jay, you can tell he worshiped the image of this place, man. He represents, he loves, okay, this society. Feel like he's a part of it. He's able to, make little moves, so he feels like he's included. Okay, so he loves all this capitalist. You see this entrepreneur type. He loves that, man. Okay, which he's gonna receive. All right, that mark, that charagma in his forehead or in his hand. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Okay, so there's the judgment that's to come. Like I said, okay, you can know about the stocks and the trends and this and that, but if you don't know about this judgment, you don't know nothing. Okay, this place finna be judged, man. All right, this place finna be tormented with fire and brimstone, with nukes, man. It's gonna be, all right, a hell of a lot of people in it. You see why this place is being nuked? We want to be up. All right, this ties into Isaiah 26:20. We want to be up in them chambers while this is going on. All right, which the next chapter, Revelation 15. Okay, Revelation 15:1, it says, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And their last plague is the nukes. okay, hitting America, man, turn this place into the lake of fire. All right. And when the smoke settles, it's going to be a desert. Okay. It says, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. And see, that's the John the Revelator. Okay. Which he's of the elect. Okay. He's looking at the America on fire through the atmosphere. He's in the chariot in those chambers, seeing this place on fire through the atmosphere, man. Okay, and it looks like a glass mingled with fire, like glass in a bottle. Okay, from the view of the chariot, you see, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. See, our mind is set towards a victory over the beast, man. Okay, see, the elect have a completely different expectation. Okay, than everyone else, man. It says, and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High, and they sing the song of Moses, which you're going to be celebrating, man. Rejoice over her, thy prophets and holy apostles, man. For the Lord have avenged you of her. Okay, Revelation 18. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord power almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of the saints. Okay, just and true are thy ways, thou King of the saints. Okay, see, we have an expectation for righteous judgment, man. Okay, we want to return, all right, on we want to return on the prophets of because we've invested faith. We got faith, we got time, we got, we've invested into this just like someone that would invest into a stock market. Okay, but see, we expect a return of rulership, immortality, new bodies. Okay, a righteous government in the earth. See, we expecting a whole different return. Okay, you see, we've invested. Jake talking about being invest for the long term. Well, there's nobody that's invested more into the long term than the elect. Okay, we've invested into forever. Okay, so this is where we at. We going up. Okay, then we going home. Okay, because you go here to so let's go here. Let's get this in Ezekiel. I love this chapter. The beginning of this chapter. Okay, so let's go to let's go in the NLT, Ezekiel 36 and 8. Because we got somewhere to go. We got somewhere to be, man. Okay. All right. Hey, we good on America and everything about it. We good on Esau, Edom being in power. Okay. This is Ezekiel 36 and 8. It says, but the mountains of Israel will produce heavy crops of fruit for my people, for they will be coming home again soon. Okay. Israel, the true Israelites are getting ready to go home. Okay. True Israel is going back to their land. Okay. You see, this is not our risk. Okay. America ain't the last stop for us. We're pilgrims. As the scriptures say, we're pilgrims, man. Be ye even as pilgrims. Okay. Matter of fact, before we get close on that, let's get that. Because they cut their mindset up. They completely cut their mindset. Okay. Let's get that in a second. Ezra 16. Then we'll end on that. Ezekiel 36. Let's deal with that. All right. When you go to Second Ezra, okay, 16. All right, this is the book of Second Esdras. All right, chapter 16. There you go. So lock it. Come on, nigga. All right, this second Ezra 16 and 40. It says, "Oh, my people," speaking of Israelites. All right, and this is saying only the elect is going to comprehend this message. Okay, and tap in. It says, "Hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth." Man, we're pilgrims. We're passing through. Okay, we're passing through America. This is not the final stop. Okay, is he? We're pilgrims here, man, and that's what we've been awakened to. That we're pilgrims, man. You know, this ain't our rest, man. This ain't. We don't have a continuing city here, man. All and everything that this devil is trying to do. And you know, Jake is talking about make the best of it, man. And what this devil is getting ready to do. And I don't know what type of status and position you niggas think you finna have in this new world order, man. Okay, verse 41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupy merchandise as he that he have no profit by it, or he that buildeth as he shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planted the vineyard, okay, as he that shall not gather the grapes. Okay, so this lets us know that okay, you might have motion, or you might have a few things working in this society, man. Okay, but we're pilgrims still. No matter what we got going on, we can have 3-4 businesses, few stocks that's winning and this, but it's gonna come a time we have to let this shit go. We have to let all of it go. Okay, because the fashion in this world passes away. Okay, so now we're pilgrims here, man. We have a pilgrim mindset. Okay. To give a damn, you know, people, you got, you know, people still excited about certain little moves and promises Trump making. They have no clue what's really going on. They don't have no clue of the judgment of the Lord that's at hand. Okay, it said, but the mountains, this back in Ezekiel 36 and 8, it says, but the mountains of Israel will produce heavy crops, all right, of fruit for my people, for they will be coming home again soon. You see, we finna go home. That's where we gonna go at. You know. You see, it says, "See, I care about you, and I will pay attention to you. Your ground will be plowed, and your crops planted. I will greatly increase the population of Israel, and the ruined cities will be rebuilt and filled with people." Man, see, we're finna come back to abundance, man. Damn, trying to make damn celebrating off this nigga's crumbs, man. The crumbs of an Edomite, man. Okay, the hell with being excited about some goddamn stock market, man. Nah, man, we finna go and enjoy the earth, man. Enjoy true wealth, man. Abundance, the resources. Okay, because the people that own 93% of the stock market are the people that own the resources of the earth, man. Okay, and they let the rest of the world fight and scrap and try to strategize over their other little 7%, man. Man, this played out, man. Okay, it says, I will increase not only the people, but also your animals, O mountains of Israel. I will bring people, all right, I will bring people to live on you once again. I will make you even more prosperous than you were before. Then you will know, all right, that I'm the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Awashah, man. So we got somewhere to be. The Lord got somewhere for us to be, man. You see, the Lord got somewhere for us to be, man. Okay, even when you go here, 1 Samuel 7 and 10. All right, 1 Samuel 7 and 10. And it says, 2 Samuel 7. All right. And 10. It says, and I will provide a homeland for my people Israel, planting them in a secure place. All right. And they will never be disturbed. Evil nations won't oppress them as they've done in the past, man. Okay. So we got a place to be, man. Okay. The Lord's going to give us a place of our own. Okay. He's finna give us a kingdom of our own, man, a rulership of our own, man. Okay? The rulership of Esau is at the end, man. Okay? Read this in the KJV, 2 Samuel 7, 2 Samuel 7 and 10. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel and will plant them that they may dwell in the place of their own and move no more. Okay? Neither shall the children of wickedness, and that begins with Esau, afflict them any more as before time, man. You know, and we look forward to a world where Esau is not in power, and then a world where Esau doesn't exist, man. There's no such thing as an Edomite. Okay, we got way bigger, all right, ambition than, you know, the stock market, or, you know, whatever. You see, and our ambitions in righteousness, man. Okay, and what the Lord getting ready to do, man. So that was the point, you know. Just wanted to get into that, you know. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified. Till next time I say shalom, or shalom, Bible, shalom.